final exam on P, like in PTC we don't have this chapter, but final
political science का political science actually this lesson is not for deep study. It's sometimes coming for internal, that is 10 mark internal. If your school is taking it for internal, then it's okay. Some schools are not taking. They are taking casually only, and only that the 3 lessons are coming for finals. That 3 lessons question will come. So, okay, first we will study that working of the institution. Then afterwards, I don't know, there is something. Have you written test last week? Past test. Not past. Last week we wrote it. You and the other. Which of the I don't know next year is there. That's one more process. You got your paper, na? Paper mark you got, na? You were not ready. You must do.
I was supposed to do that chapter was coming in a lesson. I do it after my exam.
You are not. But no.
ma'am, I start giving the test.
Problem is diagnosing, the writing practice will come. How much you would remember and all that will come when you are writing the test. See, don't bother about, oh, I got only this much. No. You are writing, your handwriting will improve, and your the writing skill will improve. You will always remember, okay, this question, this answer to be written. So like that. Okay. So give importance to that test. Whatever you did not write, that one you have. Yeah. Now the thing is that we have only 2 lessons to complete. Which one is the second one? Working of institution, that's it. No, democratic rights also. It's not a question. Yes. So art school in the finals also it's not coming. Democratic rights.
I don't know about this.
I you have it? No, finance was similar.
Final exam पूरा question आएगा
question है, but that lesson is not the
पूरा क्वेश्चन है और ये चैप्टर सारे डाउट पूरा
हमारे working of institution ला रहे democratic rights I don't think ला रहे
वर्किंग institution
क्योंकि syllabus में है ही नहीं चैप्टर हमारे पूरे सारे syllabus में जाता है
टेक्स्ट में है
let me see I have to inform democratic right is the for other schools it might be no, CBSE or no, other school cuts out of the chapter. Even in maths, it cut out the chapter after we gave the exam. It's not coming for finals. I guess polynomials are the first number system. Polynomial is not that difficult. Linear division with 2 variables. इतना easy कर दिया है लोगों ने सब graph of it.
वो variable quadrilateral and
quadrilateral
subsidy coordinate geometry और वो equivalence जब से मैं ध्यान सुनता तब से जब भी तू बीच में अटक के ऐसे मैं भी अटक गया कल भी मैंने देखा ना वो डिस्टर्ब पाँच दिन से हो रहा है तो मेरे
को डॉक्टर के पास दिल में बहुत ये vocal cords को पे मिला परेशानी
मैं क्या नहीं मतलब कीजिए
ये वो सामान मैंने चेक किया तो इसके
मेरे को 2 सेकंड के लिए कुछ और लगा ठीक है
for obvious reasons I did that.
मेरे को 2 सेकंड के लिए कुछ और लगा
जो हमारे स्कूल के स्कूल में होता है 6 फ्लोर बॉयज स्टार्ट 6 फ्लोर बॉयज को प्रो अपने
यार
6 फ्लोर में अब पकड़ा ही पता किसने आंटी
हमारे स्कूल के आंटी से समझ नहीं आता नहीं माउशी
आंटी मौसी सब बोलते हैं
दिल्ली में आंटी
बेसिकली मैं तो आंटी बोलता मेरे मेरे भी जो आती है मैं जो भी मौसी आंटी वो मना
जिस स्कूल में आते हमें माउशी बोलते हैं मैं दीदी बोलती हूँ आंटी
पता ही
you
नहीं
have your textbook right because the textbook is revised one textbook if it is there then it is in this syllabus also this okay so we cannot avoid that okay but which is
working on institution
working on institution
or first demo which
democratic rights is class wise but I think
is that a small chapter
democratic right is small
so
chapter
we'll do first that
democratic right so working of institutions let's do it's in our exams please
now what are we doing present
yeah we have working of institutions and the third chapter electoral politics like we have done yeah so
ये साधारण अच्छी बात है
पेट्रोल पंप के वहाँ कितना अच्छा है
वो जियो पेट्रोल
सबसे अच्छा यहाँ बिल्डिंग के नीचे वाले लाइटिंग का क्या है
कुछ भी हो
हाँ यस
अच्छा ये
see now our topic of discussion is about how the institutions work. See, we have often heard about the Prime Minister, President, Governor, Chief Minister, ministers, like that we all heard about. So, but they are not the only institutions. So, initially, in order to understand that, it is given about one example. That is how an order is passed. It is not coming like that. The minister issued the order. No. Actually, this order, that order is issued by government servants. Who are government servants? Civil servants. That is the other services. They are the permanent set of people. The ministers go on changing because when the party come to power, that party's person become the minister. They may or may not know about that the ministry, but the civil servants are not like that. They are knowing everything. So they, in actual sense, finance ministry. Let's take one example. Do you know that Nirmala Sitharaman is knowing A to Z of the economy? Nothing. These kind of civil servants are preparing, collecting the data and preparing the budget. She is just bringing it before the parliament. So the actual work is done by the civil servants. They are the permanent officers. They know the details of each and every department. The ministers are not knowing, but their words are important. Can you tell why their words are more important?
Because people like the
People is representative. They are elected by the people. So it is those people who are representing them. But the other section is appointed by the government. So that is why whenever the ministry is taking their decision, they are thinking that that is the decision of the government. But in the true sense, the ideas are given by civil servants. So they are an important set of people. So here, let us see how these all things work. Have you heard about this word?
executive.
Executive. What is executive?
No.
One who executes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Legislators
Ah.
laws.
This is what is the second
Law
one.
making body.
This is the law making body, legislature. Here we call parliament. Okay. Now there is one agency that is called the judiciary. What is
They
judiciary?
ensure that laws are being enforced.
Enforced. Okay. So these are the three horizontal branches. Horizontal, they are in the same level only, but one balances the other. How the legislature is making the law, that law is implemented by the executive, and this judiciary see that whether anybody violates the law or not. So one balances the other. That is why it is
Legislative is parliament, judiciary is the judicial system. What is executive?
executive is the government. Prime Minister and the ministers, then a cabinet, council of ministers. This is called an executive. Yeah. Now, so it is called a checks and balance. Checking and balancing. Checking and balancing. That is what happening. Now, this way three organs are done. This is working horizontally. Okay, they work horizontally.
They don't have a particular hierarchy, right?
No. I have, say, when we discuss about the federal setup, the central government is more powerful, below that state government, and below the state government, local self-government. That is a vertical system. So, each area, they themselves are autonomous. See, local self-government administration, state government is not interfering. When need arises, then only they are interfering. So, like that, it's not a dictatorial type. Understood? So, you are using hierarchy. Hierarchy is that level we can see, but that dictatorial hierarchy is not. Got it? Now, in that textbook, one example is here. I think long back, in textbook nobody is having. Na? So, what is that? One order was passing. That order was related to the reservation for OBCs. Okay. It was passed by, actually, when in 1980s, Mandal Commission was appointed. This Mandal Commission's area was that what was the duty of this Mandal Commission? To study about the reservation for other backward classes. Okay, OBC means other backward classes. Now, when he prepared that Mandal Commission report and submitted to the government, but nothing happened. For almost 2 to 3 years, nothing happened about that. That time only 1989 election came. VP Singh and his party made a promise that if his party come to power,
We will implement the
Mandal Commission report. Okay, so when the promise is given, the people voted, and his government come to power. And after coming to power, the next step was taken was that he introduced it in the parliament, saying that from August onwards this will be implemented. That is 27% reservation for OBCs. According to that, that is, he made an announcement. Then the cabinet made the decision, and implementation is done by the particular department. In that, the Under Secretary signed that document. It is called memorandum.
the office memorandum.
Office memorandum. Office memorandum consists of some things. What is that? Have you ever seen CBSE circulars? No.
I've read once for the 10th board exams during lockdown. I had read so serious.
So in that circular, so many things are there. There is one that on the left side to whom it is issued. Right side about the number, year, and related to what. So right side, that is very important. That is what we call the number. So in this year, with this number, this order is issued. So after 2 years also, they can inform the school that as per this circular. Understood? So this is what a memorandum. Memorandum also had one number, the person who signed on the document, and the details. That is on the first line regarding what? Subject. So to whom? That is what the basis of that. So these two lines also can be there. Let me see that. If it is there, then we can understand. Case study. Your listing, it is there. How is a major policy decision taken? Have you seen? On August 13, 1990, the Government of India issued an order. It was called an office memorandum. Okay. Now, it had a number and it's known by that poem number. That number is there, and which branch it is, the recipe it is written, dated. This many details are important. That is further, when the CBSE is issuing any circular, you please refer to that. That is what very easy for you to understand. So, then in the circular, who signed? Joint Secretary and officer in the Department of Personnel and Training in the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions signed the order. So there is no Prime Minister signed, there is no Minister signed, no other office there. Here the signature is done by Joint Secretary of the Department Public Grievances and Pensions. Understood?
Now, is that department related to other backward classes and rights?
It is related to that. Reservation part is related to that. Okay. Now, why we are thinking about that? Who signed on that document? What does it matter? Okay. So it comes from that government side. Then it came to that public servant. Then that public servant that issue that order. Then it will be dispatched to different sections. That is section officers. And it is their duty to implement it. You got the background? Any doubt? Now, the government issued hundreds of orders. Why it is so important? Right? You got the idea that is how office memorandum is issued. Now, why this topic is important? When it is implemented, what was that? 27% reservation for other backward classes. We know that there is a 15% reservation for SCs, 8% reservation for STs, then 27% reservation for them. Then another reservations are for different issues.
We have regional or reservations too.
That is also there. Then ex-servicemen, so many the children of that military personnel.
Then what about the normal people? What do we do?
That is the biggest question. That is the whole board. If it is put as a question mark also, that is not sufficient.
But then we do need reservations for other backward classes. That is extremely important.
Now another reservation issue is going on in Maharashtra. Maratha reservation. So, and we will discuss about that topic after some time. Okay. Now, this was implemented on 13th August 1990. When the order was issued, then it had to be implemented and it was in rule. Okay. Now, what is the question? The question is that, so background I have told you, VPC when he was coming to power,
VPC was from which party? BJP?
No, that Congress also no, that is Janata
Party. I believe Janata Party does refer to Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP. Our teacher taught us that we belong to BJP. The party is written Janata Party in the textbook, I read that. But our teacher said they belong to BJP. Right?
No, it was not BJP. Actually, the Bharatiya Janata Sangh was the original name for BJP. Bharatiya Janata Sangh. It was a kind of militant organization. It was not a political organization at that time. But 1980s, it emerged as a party. 1977, against Indira Gandhi, Morarji Desai formed. Morarji Desai was a part of Indian National Congress only. Then he that means had a dispute with the what is that Indira Gandhi about that emergency, declaration of emergency for 2 years. That is why
saving democracy was there during the emergency.
Yes.
I remember. I read it somewhere.
that is that previous lesson it was there.
I have read an article about Indira Gandhi's emergency.
Okay. Then normally emergency could be maximum for 6 months, but it was for 2 years. That is why Morarji Desai had a dispute over, and he formed a party called Janata Party, and he contested the election, and that party got the votes, and that the government came to power, but they could rule hardly for 3 years. Understood? 19.
What happened to Janata Party now?
Janata Party got split up into so many groups. And another this thing, This one is Janata Dal.
Yeah, that's the other what is Chaudhary Devi.
Janata Dal, no. That is Lok Dal.
Look, oh my God,
Now Janata Dal. That is what the British inspired. He also he came to power by telling that okay, if my party come to power, I will implement that. So he got a majority and his party formed the government and immediately he fulfilled that promise. That 2 years we can see three governments. In 2 years, three governments.
Is that even possible?
Charan Singh's government was there and Chandrasekhar's government was there and Vipin Singh's government. Then afterwards again in 1991 election held and Congress party again came to power. That completed 5 years. So this way permanent government now recently the 2 terms of BJP and before that only during the time of Congress we had a 5 years complete term. Okay. Now our question is not that. He promised that we fulfill this one OBC reservation. And you were asking about only reservations are there. Nowadays, all are demanding for reservation. It started with Dr. Ambedkar. His aim was to give reservation to minorities. And it was decided that in course it has to be winded up. And they have to be gradually merged with the mainstream. But this was taken by every political party to please the people and get the vote. That was used by them. Understood? Okay, he implemented that his promise. Now, what is the issue? Now, you asked the question the same way there was some cases started. What was the cases? Say, we have used the word OBC, okay? Other backward classes. So many classes are coming in the OBCs. So many. Out of that, there are economically well-to-do people are also there. It's not like that all OBCs are poor. From among that OBC also well-to-do were. Then for them reservation is there. So upper classes, there is no reservation. They are going economically backward. So that way reservation should not be there. So from all the strata, there was some debate over this reservation. Okay, if 57% is given, 15% for SC and 8% for ST and more other. So now you see more than 50% is reservation only. In academic level, in job level, every area they are getting the reservation. Now what about the others? There are category who are getting or who are scoring 100 out of 100. So they are not having any reservation. So there was some cases filed regarding this particular issue of reservation. So the cases were clubbed together. All filed cases were clubbed together like that. Indira Soni versus others. Like that, all the cases are clubbed. Not if you have filed a case that is also related to OBC reservation, you also filed it, you also filed it, I also filed like that. So all the cases separately cannot be taken up. That is why these were clubbed together and then the judgment came. So instead of that, this one, economically and socially bad. Those who are really having economic backwardness should be given reservation. That was the final decision. Did you get the point? So this way, a change has been or a correction has been done on that 27% reservation. Clear? Okay. Now let us come back to our question. This one, 3 branches are the executed. How this particular law have been or order have been implemented? We know that the first thing in Parliament, PM made the announcement. Afterwards, PM and Cabinet made the decision. Okay. Are you getting? You listen.
Yes, ma'am.
You just listen. You can understand that is how a law is making. Understood? Then afterwards, when the ordinance have to be taken, it has to be sent to the president for signature.
The president in India is only there for signing
Signing
stuff.
machine. Now,
What is the role? I don't think we even need a president honestly.
but he is considered as the first citizen.
I know, but then again, how countries don't have a prime minister when they have a president? What's the need of president in India? Because they have honestly lost all their power over the years.
Okay, lost the powers, but we know that ours is a republic.
Yeah.
So in the republic, what is that? The head of the nation should be. That head of the nation is president. So ceremoniously that power is there. So ceremonious power. On Republic Day he come, he hoist the flag, go back.
Even Republic Day is overshadowed by PM.
Now only, but actually earlier cases know that role was very much high. Means ceremonial power, but he is the head of the nation. But nowadays that one is overshadowed as you are told the same thing. Because domination.
So annoying. I wish they don't make it next
You-
term.
You are also agreeing with that present condition.
I think presidents will have no power. Even ultimate power will be given to president. Like if he is able to sign, he has the ultimate power. But if he gets more power, then he'll be able to use it. Like PM does have a lot of power, but it doesn't need the president sign for him to approve all this.
So that is the, but at least some powers to be given to take a decision of his own. Everything you are passing and I have to sign.
Yeah, if the president does not even have a choice. If the bill is sent again, they have to approve it. You cannot disapprove of any bill.
That we know. That kind of discretion to be given. Some kind of this thing power, isn't it?
One president initially had some sort of power. Rajendra Prasad, when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was there, and then he had disputes with what we call it Nehruji, and that led to a lot of power imbalance between them, and slowly, eventually, over the years, the president's power would be decreased to the point that now prime minister is only doing everything. It's just pointless to keep a president anymore.
See, in many cases, granting pardon or like that, powers are there. So that is also now done by the real head.
Sri Sarji.
Okay. Got it.
Honestly, I believe they should not make it this term because they've gotten too used to having that power. And that is not good for the country.
No, there is one thing. Say direct election and indirect.
India
election.
follows indirect elections in which
this-
the political party in power, the representative of that gets elected by the president to become the PM. Whereas direct elections are held in USA, in which the representative itself is standing there in the election. It's not a party waiting to win elections and then their representative becomes the king.
So here that indirect election for the president, direct election for the prime minister. No, direct only. What is that? We are electing that party, and party electing that leader. So that is a direct election.
Whereas in USA, it is the person itself stands for the election.
That is direct. Understood? So here prime minister's election is direct and the presidential election is indirect. And why? Because you see that the party which is getting the majority in the parliament, if direct election is there for the president the same way, the interest will collide. And then only dictatorship can come. So that is why indirect election for the president is. Okay, let's come back here. President signs the document. Then it will go to the particular department, which is that here I am telling the department, which is public. Servants or civil servants. Okay, they are the permanent persons. Now these people have to implement it. If anything have to be implemented, it is not directly implemented by the government. Government orders, and these civil servants are implementing it. This is how a law is coming into effect. Clear that background? Now here we have to see different institutions. Which are the different institutions? This much is clear. One is that office memorandum, what it contains. Then second, we have seen that how this office memorandum came into being. Then we have seen what is the issue related to why people criticized and what change have been introduced. And fourth point we have discussed is that who made the decision and how it is implemented. Is there any doubt from that many parts? Otherwise, you can this thing read it out. So we will discuss that. Introduction onwards first.
Democracy, the leaders have to follow some government procedure. They have to work with and within the institution. In a parliamentary democracy, as is prevailing in our country, three sets of institutions play a major role. They are the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislature makes the laws, the executive implements them, and the judiciary resolves the dispute. Next.
That part, how much you have?
Who decides? The president is the head of state and the highest formal authority in the country. The prime minister is the head of the government and actually exercises all government powers. He takes most of the decisions in the cabinet meeting. Parliament consists of two houses, the Lok Sabha and the Raj Sabha. The prime minister must have the support of a majority of the Lok Sabha members.
How is the major policy decision taken? On 1990, the government of India issued an order. It was called an office memorandum. Like all government orders, it had a number and known by that OM number.
OM number means office memorandum number.
The joint secretary and officer in the Department of Personnel and Training in the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions signed the order. The government issued hundreds of orders every day on different matters, but this one was very important and became a source of controversy for several years. Let us see how the decision was taken and what happened later. This order announced a major policy decision. It said that 27% of the vacancies in civil posts and services under the government of India are reserved for the socially and economically backward classes, SCBC. SCBC is another name for all those people who belong to castes that are considered backward by the government. The benefit of job reservation was still then available only to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Now, a new third category called SEPC was introduced. Only persons who belong to backward caste were eligible for this quota of 27% jobs. Others could not compete for these jobs.
Now next,
The decision maker who decided to issue this memorandum, clearly such a big decision could not have been taken by the person who signed the document. The officer was merely implementing the instructions given by the Minister of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, of which the department was a part. We can guess that such a major decision would have involved other major functionaries in our country. The president at the head of the state, the prime minister at the head of the government, and the parliament.
so head of the state is president, head of the government is prime minister. You have to understand it very clearly. Head of the state means in name, the country's head. Okay, nominal head. The other person is the real head. That is why head of the government. Governing.
And the parliament consisting of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, are the major decision makers of the country.
The
Mandal Commission.
Parliament is making the decision, law making body.
The Mandal Commission, the government of India had appointed the second backward commission in 1979. It was headed by B.T. Mandal. Hence, it was popularly called the Mandal Commission.
So, what is the name of that person?
Maybe Mandal.
B.P. Mandal was appointed to study and submit the report. So, that is why this commission came to be known as Mandal Commission. Okay.
It was asked to determine the criteria to identify the socially and educationally backward classes in India and recommended steps to be taken for their advancement. The commission gave its report in 1980s and made many recommendations. One of these was the 27% of government jobs to be reserved for socially and economically backward classes. The report and recommendations were discussed in the parliament for several years. Many parliamentarians and parties kept demanding the implementation of the Commission's recommendations. After Lok Sabha election of 1989, the Janata Dal formed the government and B.P. Singh became the Prime Minister. Several developments took place after that.
The decision. The President of India in his address to the Parliament announced the intention of the government to implement the recommendations of the Mandal Commission.
See, after the general election, there will be a joint session of the parliament. In that joint session, President used to address. So that the presidential address is actually the policy of the new government. So that policy decision, when he announced that the president announced that they will implement that Mandal Commission report. Did you get the point? So presidential address, this announcement first was made.
On 6th August 1990, the Union Cabinet took a formal decision to implement the recommendations. Next day, Prime Minister B.P. Singh informed the Parliament about this decision through a statement in both the Houses of Parliament. The decision of the Cabinet was sent to the Department of Personnel and Training. The senior officers of the department drafted an order in line with the Cabinet decision and took the Minister's approval. An officer signed the order on behalf of the Union government. This was how Owen number was born on August 13, 1990.
Okay, clear now?
It's not.
Then,
And it's very good. For the next few months, this was the most hotly debated issue in the country. It led to widespread protests and counter-protests. People reacted strongly to this decision. This decision affected thousands of job opportunities. Some felt that the existence of inequalities among people of different castes in India necessitated job reservations to give a fair opportunity to those communities who so far had not adequately been represented in government employment. Others felt that this was unfair as it would deny equality of opportunity to those who did not belong to OBC, to backward communities. They would be denied jobs even though they would be more qualified. Some felt that this would perpetuate caste feelings amongst people and hamper national unity.
Who resolved?
Okay. Now that one, the main this thing is that lacks of job opportunities are losing. Because of that only they were worried about. See here the word is that instead of economically backwardness, educationally backward. That was the word used. That is what the issue. Understood? Socially and educationally backward. So those who did not go to school, so they are educationally backward. So instead of using the word economically backward, they use the word education. Clear?
Now, how to resolve this dispute? The Supreme Court and the High Court in India settled disputes arising out of governmental decisions. Some persons and associations opposed to this order filed a number of cases in the court. They appealed to the courts to declare the order invalid and stop its implementation. The Supreme Court of India bunched all these cases together. This case is known as the India
Sony
Sony and others versus Union of India case. 11 judges.
So what is the case? Let's underline that word.
Veeraswamy and others
Versus the union.
versus the union.
of India. 11
It was
judges.
against the central government, no, not the state government. So versus
Union of the
Poor Indira Soni who just filed a report and now her name is blasted everywhere.
no, actually all those cases when we are filing a case earlier time, the major person who first appeal no, or filed that case, that person is responsible for that. So now, along with that, similar cases were filed. So that is why it is called Indira Soni and others. So all those
Soni.
that is why all those cases were clubbed together.
She's made it to our textbook. That's a nice achievement.
Yes.
Now I'll file a case against the government.
11 judges of the Supreme Court heard arguments of the by a majority, the Supreme Court judges in 1992 declared that this order of the government of India was valid. At the same time, the Supreme Court asked the government.
That one is valid, no? But the correction is.
At the same time, the Supreme Court asked the government to modify its original order. It said that well-to-do persons among the backward classes should be excluded from getting the benefit of reservation. Accordingly, the Department of Personnel and Training issued another office memorandum on September 8, 1993. This is
So next office memorandum was September
1993.
Okay.
The dispute has came to an end and this policy has been followed since then.
Yeah, now people who are economically well settled in other backward classes are not given benefits. That's again the
It should not be given, but some are getting the benefit through that political sources. So that is what
That's
really
why the exams in India are so difficult because the normal people are not having many seats. The population is growing.
yes. For the percentage of that offered category is very less. Second thing is that they are exempted from fees, they are exempted from that, even that application also. So much relaxation for those people. And on the other side, if you are scoring 720 out of 720 also, medical seat you are not getting. So if you are rich enough, okay, you can go to the private college by
it is very difficult for like parents to afford private colleges. That is why government colleges in itself are a concept, so that people get into those courses. Now all government colleges are only accepting people from other private classes, and reservation.
Now, I'm just standing outside and just telling you, you are scoring 720 out of 720, okay? And this thing, OBC person scored 380 out of 720. This person is eligible to become a doctor.
More
And
than I
the person who scored 720 is not eligible.
But then when they go ahead, they don't pass.
They don't pass, but what
They
in
able to get
case,
into the
in case they become doctors, what quality we can expect from?
reservations are only good for people who truly deserve a chance. And like, you know,
Deserving people should get it. Because there are so many people who are not able to go to this thing, what is that, the classes and prepare for this, and have the self-study and then scoring. How much hard work they are doing. So just to be in the open category, they are not eligible. Means they are not getting a chance. So that way reservation should not be done. I'm not against reservations. So deserving people should get.
exactly.
They should have separate exams for the reservations also. If you go pass these exams, then you'll be able to enter the college.
Because if you are getting everything free, will you have that interest to do or put hard work? No, never they do. Okay, if I get 380 also, I will get into that. So that is what this kind of reservations, this kind of certain policies which are prevailing in our country are not
Not
a good
the cause of discrimination.
Actually, we are finding, otherwise we are not finding the other person is belonging to this caste or that caste. Now, we are getting a chance to know that, okay, that person is belonging to that caste, that is for sure. There is a guarantee for that person to. So, this is giving a kind of, what is that, lacking their interest. So, earlier when it was made, Gandhiji's time, Gandhiji, why he told, he was against that reservation in that. His interest was to bring them at par with others. We should not show any discrimination to that section. So, there will be a curiosity to study. I know that because of reservation, when the scheduled caste students who study along with me, they used to get a lump sum grant from the government. There is a kind of money they are getting. So only during that time they used to come and collect the money and go. Okay. After 2 years or 3 years they fail, and then they go to ITI. There also they get a lump sum grant. So only for that money they come to that institution. So what study they are actually doing? Then they go for work, earning more than one. So here a worker is getting, think 800 per day worker, that is laborer and clocking. Whereas in Kerala, it is more than 1,000. So will they go for a job or this kind of worker? So 1,000 rupee if they are getting, if 25 days they are getting that work. Okay. So this is what other person who by their hard effort done that studies and get a job, hardly getting 80,000 a month. Full day working, 80,000 a month. This person just going for doing that work, 25,000 or more. So this is what the defect of the system. With a good intention, some of the ideas are introduced with a very good intention, but in the practical sense it is not good. See, it should have been slowly winded up and make them to gradually merge with that so that equality can be established. They also will have quality in their work. Okay, let's continue. So next,
I believe it's like the time for grade.
It's already 2020.
It's 523.
I think the bell did not ring.
that Rajesh Bhaiya is like that. I told him to bring that book. He did not bring, no? Oh, he might have gone.